Welcome to Jets Game Day presented by Audi. Here's your host, Eric Allen.
Welcome to Jets Game Day. Eric Allen alongside the Mad Backer, Bart Scott and Brian Baldinger. It was a week of change for the New York Jets as Woody Johnson dismissed Robert Saleh and made defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich the 21st head coach in franchise history. Your thoughts?
Right, it's not an ideal situation. It's change.
Yep.
But life is about change, and nobody's going to feel sorry for you in the NFL. So it's time to rally with each other, get into that bunker mentality, and say, you know what, we going to have to stick together, and we can come out on the other end because it is signs. And the good thing is this team is not that far away. They win this week, they're in first place, and you ride that momentum.
It's early in the season. Woody Johnson made it clear that he thinks this is one of the most talented rosters he's had since taking over as owner here in 2000.
I agree actually with the owner. And they're not getting the best out of it. I mean, they're last in the league in rushing right now. And I do believe this is a much better roster than the 2-3 record that they show. And so sometimes you got to make hard decisions. And I'm not a fan of any coach getting fired. I mean, they all got families, they all got livelihoods. It's a stain on their record forever. So, but it's about the team, and the team has to play better as a group, individually, and as different groups within the team. And if this change helps them get that done, then it's going to be the right change.
Your thoughts on Ulbrich, a guy who played the linebacker position 10 seasons in the National Football League with the San Francisco 49ers, has worked his way up, and he has really made a dramatic change with his defense that's taken over in 21.
You talk about this defense start resembling the vision that him and Robert Saleh had, right? And, being able to learn under Robert, he was able to master it. And now, he's making it his own. He's a guy that is going to garner respect because he did play in this league. He did play at Price, and he played at a high level for 10 years. He played during a time when football was about toughness. Let's see if it's a jolt in the physicality and how this run game is going to approach moving the football.
Let's get into some film right now. We're presented by Moody's as always. Jets-Bills Monday Night Football. You're going to have to contain Josh Allen, and the Jets have a big guy up front with some freakish athletic traits, and that's Will McDonald.
You're right. And on this play right here, this is a short yardage play. It's 3rd and 1 right here. Here's Will McDonald out here. And really what Minnesota's going to do is they're going to sell this run, and they're going to boot here on the outside. They want to get Aaron Jones out here into the flat. They have also Justin Jefferson like this right here. And so they have a route combination that's pretty popular. But I thought the Jets did a great job of reading it, including Will McDonald, who right now reads this right away. And so Sam Darnold's coming outside. Will McDonald's going to go meet him right here. And when he does, he picks up his 6th sack, and it's a huge loss right there. You put him out of field goal range right there, back to the 37-yard line. A timely sack. Sometimes sacks are important, but 3rd down sacks where you stop a scoring potential and a potential to hold on to the ball, that was key.
We call that the old Woody boot. Rex named it the Woody boot. And what's unique about that play is you have to read off the play action because the person that the ball is faked to is also the first initial read for the quarterback. But because Will McDonald stayed square, he was able to flatten out and put pressure on Sam Darnold where he couldn't get his shoulder square. Will McDonald and the fact that they took the initial one allowed everybody to be able to see their matchups and be able to attack their matchups. That's why Sam ate the ball.
Bally, let's flip it to the offensive side of the ball. Aaron Rodgers and Allen Lazard, they've connected for 4 scoring tosses.
And the one on Sunday in London was really important. They're down 17-0. Here's Lazard in the slot right here. And he's going to run this seam route right here. But on the play, Aaron Rodgers does a great job of stepping up into the pocket. And now, once he does, now here's Lazard with his hand in the air. And Aaron's going to thread it to him right here, really pressuring the defense in that situation. And finding Lazard, knowing that the defender across that's coming at him is going to hit him, but put it up high so he can really put both hands on it.
And the beauty of this play is this the old red 2, but it's red 2 with the nose drop, so it actually turns into a 3-man rush. So now Aaron Rodgers stepping up, put pressure on the play side, hook curl players to step up, which created a window. The first window wasn't there. Aaron Rodgers found the second window to feed the ball into. That was 8 men back in pass coverage.
That's a 501 film breakdown. Coming up, we're going to put the Buffalo Bills under the Jets spotlight.
Brought to you by Moody's, proud partner of the New York Jets. Welcome back to Jets Game Day, presented by Audi.
Welcome back to Jets Game Day. Eric Allen with Bart Scott and Brian Baldinger. You guys were so good in the opening segment with the film.
Yeah.
We're going to keep it up. The Jets spotlight this week is actually going to be on their opponent, the Buffalo Bills. Here's Terrell Bernard making a hell of a play in pass coverage.
It's a big play because here's Bernard right here, right? And so on this play, it's play action pass right here. As soon as Stroud sees this right here, as soon as he sees Bernard with his back to him, as he's passing this receiver off, he's going right here. And that's where he should go.
Yeah.
Except watch Bernard here. Because Bart, right now, like he gets back underneath that right there. He didn't bait him. He did his job. He passed the crosser off, and he stepped in front of that Stroud pass. He doesn't make many mistakes like that. That's a great play by the middle linebacker.
Well, that's high-level stuff, right? What he's saying is, like, when we say what we call alert flow, that means 4 strong. You can always let the first crosser go. And it's kind of a half boot, so you let that go to the backside linebacker because he has no work because there's only one receiver to that side. So you can let the first crosser go to the backside linebacker. He zone turn and then man turn, and C.J. Stroud blindly threw the football because once he saw the back of his head, he assumed that he was going to undercut the boot. So he came off. So when you talk about high level stuff, because that was a form of cover 2. So that means it's vertical hook from number 2, and Bernard Reed is number 3. Well, the first number 3 is the crosser, but then the new number 3 becomes in the backfield. He lets the first number 3 go and goes to the new number 3 with the route combinations. That's high quality stuff.
Well, let's stay right here.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers, he likes attacking in the middle of the field. Mm-hmm. What does he have to do against a linebacker like that in Bernard?
Well, you have to use his teaching against him, understanding that that's what he wants to do. So now you give him bait. You got to give him some of that cheese. You know what I'm saying? You got to give him some cheese in front, high low him, things of that sort, and be able to work with him and be able to throw behind him. But you have to understand that he understands his principles. So you have to know what he knows, use what he knows against him, because you know what he's taught to do in certain situations.
Before we take a look at Josh Allen, that was a very uncharacteristic game from Aaron Rodgers last week when you're talking about 3 interceptions and the pick 6.
Yeah, it was.
First quarter, first time.
Yeah, first time ever. But, you know, they still did rally with a chance to win it at the end. Defense kept them in the game, so they still had a chance at the end, even with the mistakes, to be able to come back and win that game.
The Jets defense has to contain Josh Allen. So far this season, 0 interceptions, and he's always a threat on the ground.
Well, he is, and they like to give him options, whether it's design. Like this is a design boot to get him out right here. And they have players that he's reading right here. Like you're seeing really, when you watch this right here, like he's got options right here, okay? He's got the flat here, he's got the seam here, and he's got the drag. But what you always have to look out for is number 4, is the tight end. This is Kincaid leaking out late, and that's where Josh Allen can always threat. He's got 4 options, and if you take those away, like what he can do right here is he can hurt you running because he's a great runner. He's the second leading rusher on the team right now.
So the hard part about that play is essentially that's the Woody boot. That's what we just saw before, 4 strong, right? But the problem is, the element that he has that Sam Darnold doesn't have is he can run through arm tackles. So if you eventually run out of defenders, because if everybody's doing their job, who can come out of coverage to step up to stop him and his ability to run? So if you do that, he throws the ball to one of those options. And if you don't, he just runs through you. He's going to get the first down because the guy that can make the play is the backside safety who's not going to be able to come down to stop him from getting 5 to 10 yards. That's why you have to flood the zone. When you see that stuff, you have to bring another defender and lock the backside. It's difficult stuff.
Do you go blitz heavy against Allen? Because this is a team that does not have Stephon Diggs anymore, and they're having problems separating.
No, I'm not blitzing because what I want to do is keep him in a phone booth. I want to keep Superman in a phone booth. I'm not allowing him to change. And sometimes if you do that, these guys are so big, he kind of falls off. So what I want him to do is get frustrated with not being able to find his options, and then he has to put it up, either try and fit it in a tight hole, which he has tremendous belief in his arm. But I'm keeping guys there because if I blitz and I miss, he can make us pay either with a big throw with his arm, or he can make you pay, with a big run, which guys are blitzing. That means you're using man-to-man coverage.
Yes.
Guys,
or I'm mixing it up. I'm getting free hitters at him.
Yeah.
Free hitters speed to him to make him speed his decision making up, and whether he's going to run, throw, or whatever. I don't believe he's got great timing right now with these receivers. You see too many missed throws right now early this season. He doesn't have his go-to guy yet.
Yep.
And so I'm trying to speed up that process, man.
Yeah.
Don't go anywhere because we're going to hear from the new Jets interim head coach, Jeff Ulbrich, and what his players are saying about their new boss.
Jets Game Day is presented by Audi. Visit your Tri-State Audi dealer to get behind the wheel of yours today, or visit AudiOffers.com for more information. On Tuesday, the Jets staff and players learned that defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich would be named interim head coach for the team. With over 20 years of NFL experience in his combined playing and coaching careers, the team has the utmost confidence in what Ulbrich is capable of.
I mean, he's an ultimate competitor. Just working with him every day, going through the battles that we've been through these last 4 years. I know what makes him tick. I know his story, I know his why, I know his family. So when you know somebody that intimately, you naturally want to perform at your best for him, and you want to, do things to, make him proud. So he's just one of those coaches that brings that out of you every single day. Even when you're tired, even when he's tired, he finds a way to motivate, our defensive staff and our defensive room every day.
It's obviously not the way that you don't want to see one of your best friends and whatnot, lose their job. It's not the way I'm sure he wanted to get his first head coaching debut, but I'm excited for him. Like a lot of people have talked about, he played the game for a long time. He's a great man. He commands the room. You have a lot of respect for him. He's also super personable. You feel you can go to him about anything. I'm excited for his opportunity.
Ulbrich also announced that while he would be maintaining the title of defensive coordinator and play calling responsibilities for the defense, there would be changes on the offensive side of the ball.
I'm going to make Todd Downing the play caller for the New York Jets going forward. And this is more a byproduct of a different take on things. I'm not saying it's a better or worse take on things by any means, but just a different take on things, a fresh approach. So ultimately, Todd will have the full say on the game plan and ultimately the plays that are called within the game.
Well, we got to lock arms and raise the level of our play. I think it's spotlights on the players now. You can change coaches, but we're the ones out there on the field playing, so we got to play better. But we got to stick together and get behind Brick and move forward.
Let's get into our great debate presented by HCL Tech as always. Gentlemen, this is a must-win for Jeff Ulbrich's Jets in terms of winning the AFC East. Bart?
No, because even if they lose, they're only 2 games back behind the Buffalo Bills, and they play them again. It's a hope to win. It helps your chances a lot better, but I don't think it's a gotta win. It's never a gotta win this early in the season. But you talk about all the losses that the Jets have had. 2 of those losses have been to an NFC opponent. You want to win your games in the AFC because it helps, because they usually count for a half a game. If it's a divisional opponent, it counts for a game and a half. But whenever you're going to see an opponent twice, if you split with them, who cares? It's all even at the same time. But I hope they win. Gotta win. Must win. Negatory.
Bart's lips are moving. He's lying. Like this is like, I can't believe this came out of his mouth. They've just lost 2 in a row.
Yeah.
They just fired a coach. They got the Buffalo Bills coming here in front of their home crowd. That the last time they saw him lose to a team that they should have beaten in Denver. Like, this is a must. You can't go 3 games in a row losing like they have. It's a division game. You've just made a coaching change. The coach wants to instill some confidence. This is the game to do it. Go out there and play their best game and beat a team that's favored to win the division. Like, this game is everything right now.
Somebody's going to have a 3-game losing streak.
That's right. Yes. Because the Bills are riding a 2-game losing streak themselves. And listen, the Buffalo Bills are a team that is scuffling themselves offensively. It's just not the Jets entering this ballgame.
I mean, listen, this is a trend, like I said before, because of the lack of preseason. I think you see this, widespread. Teams are finding their identity. I think now the preseason is over. I say teams are really 1 game into the season. Some teams hit the ground running, but then I think some of those teams will come back to the pack. I mean, even watching Minnesota last week, they didn't seem like
their offense didn't look
they didn't seem like a superpower. So, I think the cream starts rising to the top in November. It's all about making sure that you're making, incremental improvements. And sometimes those improvements are going to be leaps and bounds, but everybody has to make sure that they continue to stay. And everybody in this league is going to have to deal with injuries.
But he's saying nice to have. You're saying
I'm saying the other part is, you know what that does to Buffalo if they lose their 3rd game in a row and they lose to the Jets on a Monday night. Then they got a short week. Like this is a chance to start like passing them by early. Stacking your wins. You always want to start stacking your wins whenever you can get it. So a win against the Bills, maybe they get a chance to start stacking some. Maybe they get the running game cranked up because that's what they got to do. I think Josh Allen is going to start hearing those whispers if they lose going, boy, that Stephon Diggs was really important to this team, third downs, red zone, when we needed to play. Always had that guy. It doesn't seem like he's got that guy right now.
I mean, you win the game, you're in first place.
That's right. That's the bottom line.
That's the reality. So with all that's going on, with how tough this week is going to be, emotional this week is going to be, the reality is you get the dub, you're in first place.
Great debate, fellas. Don't go anywhere. On the other side, we're going to get Bart and Baldy's game day predictions.
This was presented by the official digital transformation partner of the New York Jets, HCL Tech, supercharging progress. Get 100% verified tickets to every upcoming game at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Jets and the NFL.
Welcome back to Jets Game Day. Let's get into our predictions presented by the New York Lottery. Bart, starting with you. If the Jets win the coin toss, Jeff Ulbrich will elect to put the offense on the field first.
No, negative. I think you defer. You defer because it's important for you to have options coming out of the half. I think you go with that.
Baldy, the Bills will blitz Aaron Rodgers on at least 40% of his dropbacks.
They're not really a big blitz team. I don't think it's going to happen. They'll have a weak side overload on occasion, things like that, but they're not a big blitz team. They're a zone team. They try to keep everything in front of them. All right, they rally to the ball really well. I don't believe 40%. That sounds way too high for this team.
Yep, obviously a different defensive philosophy than the Denver Broncos or the Minnesota Vikings. So let's go back to you, Bart. Scott, Josh Allen will throw his first interception of the season.
Well, I think if the Jets are able to stop the run, and I think you should apply all your resources to stopping the run, it's going to force Josh Allen to try and take advantage of some of those one-on-ones. Because if I'm the Jets, I'm saying, hey, I don't fear any of these receivers. I'm comfortable with DJ Reed and Sauce and Michael Carter or Isaiah Oliver out there on the island with these guys. But what I can't allow is for James Cook to start cooking. And also, when you bring that eighth man to the box, that's a natural spy for Josh Allen, so that when that play breaks down, because those guys can't create separation and he decides to run, we make sure that we stop him so he can't get that momentum, because I think that Buffalo team feeds off of his ability to make tough runs and show that grit.
I see what you did there with James Cook.
You know what I'm saying?
He's cooking.
Okay, Baldy, Garrett Wilson will have at least 7 receptions against the Bills.
Well, I think that's entirely possible. I thought they went to him way too much last week at the expense of other receivers. Like 22 targets, it's great. I mean, he had a big game, but I thought they forced it to him too much last week. If he gets 7, it's because the defense is giving him those 7. I don't think it's a force to, but I can see him getting 7 catches against this team. There's going to be holes in that zone for that ball to get to.
The Jets and the Bills will combine for less than 41 points.
I think it could be a defensive struggle. It could be.
He's wavering again, Baldy.
No. I mean, the Jets play Josh Allen very good.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, over the years, they usually split with this team, and they usually win at home. I think the emotion and environment and everything that they're coming off of this week, I think these guys are going to be playing at a high level with tremendous energy fed by that crowd.
Final thoughts. Speak to that. The emotion and the energy the Jets have to play against a division rival after a week of change.
We think about last year opening up against Buffalo Monday night. They took the ball away 4 times. Like, that's what the defense is getting. Some of these, they need more takeaways. All right, and so Brandon Echols the only one with interceptions right now. Like, this is a chance because Josh is going to throw up 2.
Yep.
On his movement and motion, he's going to throw 2 up there. I don't know if he has great timing with his receivers yet, because it doesn't look like it. That's why he's running and moving so much. Like, he's going to give him a chance for 2. You got to come down with the 2.
This one's going to be played in a phone booth.
It is, but sometimes phone booth games turn into shootouts.
Yeah.
Right? Because if both teams present, you got 2 quarterbacks with great, tremendous arm talent. And if you're saying, okay, we're selling out against the run, these guys do have the belief in their arms as well.
Can't wait for Monday Night Football. The Jets are back in prime time. Enjoy your football weekend.